This is Infection, the survival podcast, recorded live on Tuesday, October 25th, 2016, episode 93. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Infection, the survival podcast. Infection is your source for the latest information on survival video games. We bring you the latest news, reviews, updates, and more each and every week. My name is Nick Craig, at Nicholas M. Craig is my Twitter. InfectionPodcast.com is the website. Joining me back by popular demand, Brian Aldridge. Hey, Brian.
Hey, everybody. And if you want to find me at Boise Computer on Twitter, I've been on that. I've actually been logging back and forth. So if you send something on Twitter to me there, I've actually
you got to get
been
TweetDeck.
checking it this week.
You got to get TweetDeck.
Yeah, I should do that. I mean, I've loaded it before, and I have to see if it's still installed.
I have the maximum amount of Twitter accounts TweetDeck will let you have in an account. In a single
That's
account.
the thing is I have to log out and then log into the other one. So I'm going back and forth. So I just do need to put
I have
TweetDeck on there.
I have 9 accounts on my TweetDeck. I'm a popular guy. What can all my alter egos.
Yeah, I only need 2. And then if you want to check out my blog, biteoftech.com, biteoftech.com, make sure you join our Discord server. That's been going strong, 20-something people at most times. We had our game of the week this past week. We had 10 people playing at once. So if you're looking for people to play with, whatever game we're doing, every Friday we have a game night. But throughout the whole week, we're usually playing games. So if you like to find people to play, whether it's Ark, H1Z1, 7 Days to Die, any of those kind of games, you're more than welcome to jump in, and I'm sure someone will play one of those games with you because we have plenty of people to pick from.
Of course, and as we've been talking last week, if you missed last week's show, we are going to PAX East 2017 officially now. It is 100% set in stone. Tickets were purchased for last Thursday. We got the tickets, we got the hotel, we got the flights. We are 100% go for PAX East 2017. You can head on over to our website, infectionpodcast.com/PAX, or below the Twitch channel, there's a big button to donate. And we are currently at $103. We're at 20% of our goal so far with 135 days to go. So it looks like we will be smooth sailing to the goal here. All right, Brian, let's talk about the game of the week first.
Sure. For the upcoming week. Right.
Well, yeah. Well, let's do both. So what are we playing? What are we playing this week? This is actually something we teased a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah. So this week we're actually going to play Ark because the day before should be their Halloween patch. Sometimes they push it out a day, but I think they're going to be pretty close on this one. So I'm sure we'll be pretty safe. But this will be the Halloween patch, which is a lot of fun. If you've never, which we didn't really play Ark, maybe some of our people did. At last Halloween, we started immediately after. Mm-hmm. But I still saw some of the different dinosaurs that had, they're like the bones that you would see in a museum. That's what the dinosaurs look like. And so you can tame one of those and you can keep it. And even when the holiday event is done, you still have that dinosaur that looks like bones.
And we're going to work out some details on what we want to get. We want to get to the, are you going to put over a new map? Are you going to start on a new?
So what I'm going to do is I will put a fresh one on that's just for this event.
And do like 100 times everything, just so we get.
Yeah, I mean, I may throw out some XP, or I don't. We'll figure out. Either I'll do such a ridiculous level time that we'll have, levels in an hour or two.
So that's exactly.
Or I'll just throw some XP around.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing. To make it so we actually get to. It's not like we're actually going to be continuing to play. Well, I mean, we will, but the point
we have
of getting,
other servers. Exactly. We have the other servers that we play on. This is just going to be, and so we can see if we can get to the level of doing the actual Dodo Rex and things like that. Yeah.
So we'll over a couple hours we'll have the crazy tame time. So we'll be able to tame a Rex in probably 15 minutes or something like that,
and
depending on the.
It'll be
time.
Fun because we can try to get all of those special holiday ones. What I might do, I mean, if people are really like, I want to have some of these dinosaurs, what I might do is spawn in some of the holiday ones if we go back and like the event is done, so that we have them on a regular server as well, because this will be persistent to this server. So afterwards, if it's still not going on and we're not able to get those, I'll spawn some in for people so that we can have some just for the cool effect of it.
I think we're gonna do Jade Lore. I think we're gonna do the regular the island map. That's the one I think most
because
people are
I'm not sure
with.
how the random gen ones work with like the special spawn bosses and things like that. I don't want to risk us getting to where we're all leveled up and ready to go and then we can't spawn in a boss. Yeah. So we're going to do that one with the regular map just to make sure, because I don't think none of us have ever done the Dodo Rex.
No. So we'll have that this Friday night. You can join our Discord. There's a link on the website, infectionpodcast.com, around 9 o'clock Eastern. Hop in Discord. And if you've never played Ark before and you've got it on one of the Humble Bundle,
this would be a perfect
sales,
time. I mean, super high. It's going to be a super high gather rate, super high level rate. So you'll be able to experience a lot of stuff in a short time, which you may want to decide. I mean, there is a lot of fun about going through and kind of grinding through it. But if you're just wanting to experience, this would be a good experience.
Yes, definitely. So check that out. That'll be Friday night in our Discord, 9 p.m. Eastern. And by the way, our Steam group as well. We're over 350 now. We're on the steady march to 400 users.
Yeah, we gained a number of people this past week, so that's good.
So we're heading towards that. Speaking of game of the week, we did Unturned, which we had been wanting to do for weeks,
but because of the map and everything of H1Z1, everybody was
still playing.
We finally got it to where we pulled people away long enough.
We pulled everybody
away.
We had
a decent number of people.
10 people. It was actually a hard time trying to find a server that
could hold all of us.
Yeah, because the server sizes are small. I think 25 or maybe 35 is the max. So we played in. I don't know about you, Brian, but I had a lot of fun playing Unturned. Unturned is a really cool game.
It's a lot harder than like H1Z1.
It's a lot harder than I think it's a lot harder than
Ark.
I think it's a lot harder than DayZ. It's a super hard. The zombies are super hard to kill, and the loot.
And they
is
don't
very,
have all
very
the armor and all these. At least not that I ever saw. They don't have the armor and things that really protect you. You just pretty much, if you have a gun, you have to shoot every zombie that comes at you if you want to guarantee.
And you'll be out of ammo. So the food and the water is very sparse. It's a real hardcore survival game that we haven't seen in these other games. But Unturned was a lot of fun, and it was free. So we had I think 10 people at one point. We had 10 people playing, and I saw a lot of people there was a few people complaining about how it wasn't exciting or whatnot. I for it being a survival game, my opinion,
it went over much better than Rust.
Way better. Well, here's the thing.
Much better than DayZ did.
Because it's like it's an easy hard game. That's not a thing, but it's easy to play. Like there's not really much skill involved in getting gear, but the zombies are really, really hard to kill. They swarm up on you. There's special nighttime zombies, and then there's a red moon or death moon that the zombies are 3 or 4 times as hard to kill. So it's easy in the sense of you can just walk right into it. It's not like Rust or Ark where you have to do hours and hours of setup before you can do anything.
There's not a ton of grinding. I mean, you can pretty much just go in, play, see how it goes.
Yeah, exactly. So it was cool.
You
just spawn in, you find a gun, and you're set. There's not a whole lot of setup. But it was also hard at the same time because the survival aspect. I ran out of food and or water at least 2 or 3 times, and it just killed me. Yep. So it was good. It was a lot of fun. I even played it. I played it Sunday actually. I just played Saturday. I just played it. Just solo, just playing it alone.
And Tag was talking about there's like teleporting zombies. There's a very big variety of zombies as well, which a lot of those other games don't have. Like this one's got spitting zombies that go invisible and start attacking you. It's just a number of different types. So there's a lot of depth to this game that you look at it and you're like, oh, this is a Minecraft style game. But there is a ton of depth to the game.
Yes, there is totally a ton of depth to the game. So that is Unturned. We played that. I would love to play that again, especially with the amount of people we had. It wasn't very hard to team up with other people.
And I think we could even get more if now that people have done it and they realize, oh, this is fun. Try to get even more and see if we can fill up a server, because that was the thing is we went on one server and for some reason everybody had spawned in at once and we were running around with like 10 random people.
Yeah.
Everybody was in the same place and no one was killing each other, but
it was fun. And
I may spawn up our own server. I guess I could probably spawn up our own server.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure on this.
And I've got Unturned's numbers in the coming up in the current player segment on the second half of the show, and I think a lot of you'll be surprised with how many people play this game.
Active it is.
Exactly. It's very, very active, and it's continuing to be very, very active. We've got another update for it this week as well. So that was Unturned. If you missed it, we'll have it coming up probably in the next couple of months. with
Okay.
with some of the other games that were rotating in. So, yeah, that's that. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at InfectionCast for Friday's game. In case there's an issue with the ARC update, in case they don't push it out or something happens, we'll update you there and on our Steam group. So,
sounds good.
Find all those cool links.
Well, do we want to jump into ARC and some of the updates?
They did.
Or do you want to do H1Z1?
No, we can run into ARC. They did what we said they should not do, Brian. They went 4 decimal places. Right, this was during last week's show, I believe.
Yeah, 247.9991.
You were waiting for this all show, and then right after we finished, you put a link in Discord, and you said, hey, there's the update. So, 991. Very interesting. Did this break anything on your end? Did you have any decimal round off issues?
No, the script that I used, I think it handles this, or it would have just not detected that it was there. So it may have skipped an update until the next one.
Gotcha.
So mine wouldn't do anything. It doesn't do anything unless it realizes there is a change, and it realizes that it's a higher level. So, it didn't break that I know of. No one complained that it went down. So.
Gotcha.
All right. So this was October 18th, 247.9991. And this is one that says highly recommended the server hosts upgrade to this version. So it's something that was an issue on the server. They said they changed the structure, collision channels to fix with crop plots, elevators, and things like that. So they weren't interacting with the buildings correctly. And they improved the Quetz platform flight blocking traces, so less rubber banding on Quetzals. And then the lightning wyvern beam now damages raptors and other small dinos that it was missing. So there were certain dinosaurs that so the wyvern is or wyvern, I think is how they pronounce it.
Yeah, wyvern.
The wyvern is the dragon.
Yep.
The actual flying dragon, because there is a dragon, but it doesn't fly. The one that's called dragon. So this is the flying dragon. And I guess the lightning wasn't hitting raptors, which could be a problem if that's the only thing you had to fly with. You wouldn't be able to defend against them. So that was the last of this revision of the 247, and then they went to 248. So this was their big patch. 248, it said it did a one-time reset of INI files. So this is custom server INI. So this is something I'm going to have to check as well to make sure that nothing weird happened with this. But it says you can now wield your weapons on mount ridings when mount riding certain dinos. So like on the box art is the example they give. You know how she's sitting there holding a gun while she's on the back of a dinosaur?
Yep.
Well, that wasn't possible until now. So now you can actually hold your gun while on a dinosaur. You can hold a spear if you want to try to do jousting.
I wonder how that game is, for the most part, had pretty good combat. At least from our experience. I wonder how that combat is going to be. Is that going to be a big part of the game, or is it just kind of one of those things where...
I think, like, for instance, if you were on the back of a raptor, you could have your raptor attacking, and I'm assuming that you could also probably be hitting somebody with a spear or something, or you could be on the back of maybe a flying dinosaur and shoot with your gun. That would be a pretty big thing.
That would be I just wonder how limited it will... I would just wonder how limited it will be, because here's the thing: if you're riding on a dinosaur, directly in front of you is most likely being blocked. Like, for example, the raptor, you're directly in front of you is being blocked by the raptor. It seems like you'd only be able to shoot a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right.
Yeah,
so I'm not sure how that combat's going to work.
So
it's interesting.
I would think, and this is something that'll be fun to try, I would think that this would really help when we talked about the Quetzal. Maybe when you're trying to take down a Quetzal, you'll be able to fly on your bird, get next to it, and then shoot it.
Well, how about this? How about picking somebody up with a bird and having them be able to...
See, but they can already do that.
You can already do that now?
Yeah, you can do that. I mean, it's kind of difficult. But this will let you on the back actually be able to fire as well. So 2 of you could be firing.
I wonder how well... I wonder if this will be something that a lot of people utilize, or is it just a thing that they're implementing to say, hey, you can now shoot on? I wonder how you...
Well, and this Friday it'll be something that we can really test and see, because I haven't played since this patch to see how much because this came out 4 days ago or 3 days ago.
Yeah.
So this will be fun to try. I mean, I'm sure we'll try it out, and either it'll be, as you said, something that's or it'll be a big part of the game. They usually don't do something unless it actually is really affecting the game. So
typically.
Now the next thing that they did was procedurally generated arcs. So this is their first rollout of this. This gives an unlimited number of maps now. So you can, if you would like, just generate a new map, just like you would in Minecraft or 7 Days to Die, games like that. You can generate a random arc, and this will be your new, you can have this be your map. If you decide that you don't like how it laid out, you can regenerate it. But so yeah, this is a pretty big deal, because if people don't want to play the center, or they don't want to play one of those mod maps, now you can just have it generate and maybe even reset it every month. You decide, I want to have one map this month, and then we'll do a new map next month, and kind of keep rotating through. And they're pretty nice. Like if you look from the video you're showing, it's a nice variation. The mountains and everything, they look very nice, and it gives you to where you don't know where everything is. Right? Everything on the map right now we have kind of memorized.
Yes,
and we know exactly where it is, and that's that's one thing I really liked about Minecraft, was the exploring and the running around of the whole map. And something else they're doing is a new mechanic called Explorer Nodes. I kind of teased this a little bit, but this is going to be laying out the lore.
That's what we just saw right here at the beginning of that video. Play that.
Yeah,
again.
so you saw there a chest that you were able to go into, and there you'll have different Explorer nodes and things like that. And these are the type of things that I don't think will be in the generated maps. I don't know how they would accomplish this. So
no, I don't think so at all.
They do have these in Scorched Earth, and they have them in the island.
Cool.
So if you want to kind of hear or see some of the backstory and figure out why you're there, Explorer nodes, those will be something that you can run around and try to find. You saw there are actually 3 new dinosaurs in this patch. One of them is the Caprosuchus, I think.
Caprosuchus something.
Suchus. It's Suchus.
Oh, okay. It looks different on the
Caprosuchus.
It looks like an alligator.
Or you can call it a capro. I'm sure everybody will just call it a capro. Just
That's
like
what
we call it.
The capro, the alligator.
So this is like an alligator that has fairly long legs.
Long legs, yeah.
Of course, a carnivore. It can be tamed with a type of kibble. It's rideable, breedable. So this is something that you can get. It's much smaller than the other alligator, I think, from what I can tell, because the other one is pretty big. I think this is more of a normal riding size.
Yeah.
So, and then I don't really see that. It says domesticated. They generally split about the usefulness. It says survivors are generally split about the usefulness of this. Some love its speed, both in and out of the water, essentially making it among the fastest small-size all-terrain mounts when traveling through the wetlands, which is pretty impressive. It's probably on par with the frog. The frog is really good for getting around the wetlands, but it's not very strong. Others do not like how relatively frail it is. I mean, that's the issue we ran in with the frog, and do not think about its speed and damaging attacks make up for its shortcomings. So this is one of the ones where you'll have to look at it kind of like with the frog. Is it worth going around? I may get knocked off. It may get killed. It's kind of a risk because the wetlands are pretty dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Jay Deloria is saying that this one will leap at you.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
So, yeah, so this will be something fun. And that's why I want to kind of play the normal map, make sure we can, kind of go through the wetlands and see all this, see some of these new ones. So then they have the Diplocolus, and it is an amphibian. And so this one, it says its temperament is skittish. It's tameable, but not breedable, but it is rideable. And this is a water-only creature. So it says primarily used for the rather disgusting practice of employing it as an oxygen bag. So you use it to breathe underwater. Huh. So it stores air in its head, and then a diver can suck from the bladders to take deep breaths while submerged.
Interesting.
So yeah, so this is kind of a unique style.
It doesn't look like any other dinosaur in the game. It's got a very unique kind of.
It's got like a hammerhead, but it's a mix of a frog, salamander,
lizard, hammerhead, shark, snake thing. The other one blatantly looks like an alligator with longer legs. This one is kind of its own thing. Very weird eyes. They're just very beady eyes looking at you. So,
and it says that its head is it's shaped like kind of like a boomerang.
Yep.
It says first, like a hydrofoil, its veins improve the swimming speed to escape any predator. Second, it has its air bladders. And these bladders act as buoyancy manipulators, so allowing it to dive deeper by expelling air and move to the surface by filling them up. So this would be pretty interesting. I think they're really just getting ready to go into the ocean part of this and take advantage of the ocean more in this game.
There is a lot of cool water dinosaurs in this game that I don't think a lot of people are utilizing. I mean, speaking from our group, now we're not every group, I understand that, but we really never did much in the water. I mean, oil, but that was about it.
You go gather a few things.
Yeah, oil, but that was pretty much it. I don't know what they're trying to do with water. You can't build bases underwater yet, can you? I don't think there's an underwater.
Well, I think you can go to one place. There are some things that already are pre-existing that have air in them that you can kind of use for the underwater caves, but I don't know that you can actually go underwater and seal your own.
Do you think that's going to be
make bases on things that float?
It seems like that underwater.
So Ivory Hawk is saying that you can. So
okay,
yeah, the caves, but we'll have to see, because I don't know if you could just pick any spot and say I want to seal this off.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the center has 2 underwater bubbles, but can you just anywhere? You can't just decide, hey, I'm going to make this a base now.
Yeah.
Is that the next logical step for them? Have they run? Is that the next thing? Is now that they've done so much with building on land. I mean, you build a tree house now. You can build a base on a dinosaur. What else is next?
See, that's the thing, is I really think they're going to be moving towards the water, because they've done such a good job of taking advantage of every type of biome so far.
Yeah.
And they are taking good advantage of the water biome.
But water's hard.
But somewhat. But I think that maybe with the unfolding of the story, if they can kind of push you along, like maybe that's more of the end, more difficult. Like you kind of progress from, you start out on that, like the lower left island, you work your way over maybe into the swamps, and then to the redwoods, and then to the snow biome, and then the final one that you work into is the water biome. I think that's kind of that natural progression, if they make it difficult enough to where not anybody can go do it, and then have enough benefit of a reason to do it. And plus, people won't randomly be coming up and attacking you. If you make a base out there, like, someone has to be advanced, you're not going to be harassed by just low-level people.
Yeah, but it should be super hard to build and maintain.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it should be something that is difficult, takes a lot of resources to seal. Like, make it hard. That could be some of the end game content.
I agree.
So this final dinosaur for this patch, it is a Chalicotherium.
Wonderful.
I think that's it. And this is a tameable and rideable dinosaur. It looks pretty big, and it actually will throw rocks. So it is like a catapult, something you can ride that's a catapult, and it has the ability to throw things. So it behaves similar to the Dio Bear and the Giga as far as how it acts. It says it's perhaps the oddest animal mammal on the island. It's a hybrid between a horse, gorilla, and a panda. So like a gorilla, it walks on its knuckles. Rather than hands, it has claws. And then these claws are used for pulling leafy branches towards its mouth. So it eats leaves, but are deadly in combat. The creature seems to bear some rudimentary intelligence, not unlike an otter, as troops of them can be seen hurling snowballs at each other like some sort of war game. Something that also proves handy against local predators, like the looks like a hyenodons, direwolves, and daedons. So yeah, this will be an interesting one to try to tame as well. But throw things. I think that's kind of funny that they just have them throwing snowballs at each other in the snow biome for fun.
Yeah.
So this is going to be in the snow biome. And it will have links to where you can actually check this out. We have the links to the show notes, and they have a link to where you'll be able to see their page and figure out what it takes to tame them, where they're at on the different islands. So definitely check those out. And then They also improved the render batch optimization. So that improves about a 20% performance increase in structure heavy areas. They've been really focusing on structure heavy areas lately. So places that have a lot of bases and objects, because that can really slow down the performance of these games. It says tree platforms now have about 70% HP and 50% resistance to explosive damage. So they increased it by 70% hit points, and it has a 50% increase to the explosive damage resistance. And then neuter spay option for tame dinos. So you can now neuter or spay your dino.
Great.
But it's irreversible.
As it should be. It's not a,
yes.
Pick and choose.
Yeah. So if you're going to make it so that maybe you have a dino that has low stats and you don't want to risk it
now
being mixed with another dinosaur perhaps.
The mating system is that if you just have it on wander, or do you have to? Is that something you have to facilitate? We never
put
did
them
it
on wander.
Okay.
You put them on wander, and they'll go up to. So you may want to have like a certain male that is the highest stat male you have.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's the one it always used. So you would spay and neuter all the rest of the males.
Okay,
and
that makes sense.
Cool.
Well, but it's a video game, so I mean, doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it's really kind of irrelevant. So that's useful.
A new option.
So now you can leave them on wandering,
if you're really focused and you want to have them on wander and have them producing eggs as often as possible.
Which, by the way, is you can get crazy powerful dinosaurs by.
Yes.
Really, the only way to do that is to mate them and create the perfect dinosaur. It's so. I guess that's big for a lot of people. It's such a process, though. I don't know how many people are still doing this stuff, but.
And this is something that's coming up as well, that they are going to be having genetic deformities now.
That's interesting.
So you'll have things that when you mix them, like you'll have certain things that kind of happen as you breed. So you might get a special.
Can you breed like a Quetzal with a raptor? Is that a possibility?
No. I think that it's maybe, and this is what I'm going to be interested to see. I don't know if it's just going to be like a crazy stat, or if it'll have an ability that it didn't have before.
Or a disability, or some type of disability or disadvantage to, let's say it's something like the raptor, right? Maybe it's got a disability and it's just not that fast. It's just a bad raptor. It's the thing with the raptor's pretty fast. Yeah. So for whatever reason, you just have a raptor that's slow. That would be advantage and disadvantage, which is, I think, how they should do it, and probably how they will do it. But can you believe that this game has will now have a genetic mutation system? That's pretty crazy.
That's pretty advanced.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and then next they have a radial wheel menu. It says that and the text size on that now scales with the number of entries. So the problem is I think that when it had a whole ton of things, it could do a lot of things. They weren't the right size. So now it actually makes the text smaller to where you can fit all of the words into that radial menu. Spectators can now see players talking and moving lips and hear voice chat when in range.
Okay.
So
all right.
H1Z1, I'm still waiting for my spectator. When seeing, I know we're going to get into that, but in seeing it, when they were talking about, we have this new patch, and like the first thing I see someone type is, okay, do we have spectate? I'm just waiting for that. Yeah. Anyways, this
we're in the ARC segment of the show for reference to this corner.
Yeah. So they're at the point of having spectate and then worrying about the fact of whether or not the player's lips are moving when they're talking in voice chat. So anyways, we'll move beyond.
There's a bunch of other games that have that too.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
EverQuest has it.
Interesting.
EverQuest 2, I think.
Interesting.
And then fixed player collisions onto big dino ragdolls. So when the dino dies and it ragdolls, there's an issue with the player collisions. And non-drop in supply crates, so like cave and underwater crates, no longer have decreased health over time. So they no longer auto-destroy, but they can also not accept inventory anymore and cannot be used to generate boss tribute portals. So they're working on those underwater caves and underwater cave crates and just the cave crates. So they don't go away, but you can't stick things in them anymore.
Gotcha.
And then the final thing on this patch is system to completely add, subtract, override all map NPC spawners via an ini file. So it says fully modded NPC compatible as well. Says it's useful for spawn tweaking. So you can go in and say, I want to have maybe a Giga not spawn here. I want it to spawn somebody else somewhere else. So
I love the fact that they allow the server moderators or the server owners to do all this crazy stuff with the any files and really allow you, the server owner, to customize how you want your game to play. It's totally like Minecraft in terms of, I mean, you can change almost everything about the server in the files,
and
they
these
allow
guys
you
have been
to do
doing a
that.
good job of doing that.
Yes,
they
great job.
make sure that everything, for the most part, can be changed. If not, usually you can create a mod that can change that.
Yeah. So that's 248.
So that was 248.
Yep, and 248.1. A lot of almost all of these are just a few little things here and there, so we can run through these quick. 248.1 fixed an issue with dinos not eating or updating parts of their AI. I don't know if they were dying. I guess that's a possibility if they weren't eating. And this is
they're probably starving to death.
That would suck. You come back, all of them are dead. They highly recommend that update, of course. Fixed an issue with the center preventing players from connecting. That's been fixed. 248.2 fixed. Here's another thing in the server files: the override official difficulty on server. So if you wanted,
this is the one where you can make it as difficult as you want.
Yeah, I guess that wasn't working. I guess that's what I'm taking away from this. Is it?
Yeah, it must have not been doing the right number, or not. I mean, probably not the right level of difficulty is what you're putting in there.
This next one is funny. Fixed permissions on neutering. I imagine they didn't set up the permission. You could go around and neuter.
They probably were neutering everyone's animals.
Anybody and everybody's dinosaurs. You would be able to do so. There's now permissions, but it could be too late. You might be totally screwed now.
I'm sure they rolled that back a little bit if need be.
So that would have been an issue, but there's permissions on that now. Fix the What is this? This is the new one.
Diplocolus.
This is the one that's underwater. This is the one that the divers are using. Fix the onboarding movement in local play with that. 248.3 fixed collecting explorer notes while on dinos. The dino got an HP buff when you collected on the dino. So it similar where if you're sitting on a dino.
So this is what it's saying is the dino gets the buff when you're on the dino.
Similarly, if you're crafting narco and you're sitting on a dinosaur to level it up, that's going to work the same way now as it works with the explorer notes. Fixed crash case with clients on PGM. That was an issue with still some issues on the Linux server, and they're expecting a solution coming next weekend for that. Here's an unrevisioned hotfix. The overspawn of the. Let's see, which one is this? Is the
Dimetrodon.
The Dimetrodon, which is an older one. This isn't new. This patch.
Yeah, and this is on the center. It's in the center bulk on the center map. And this is the one that has the fantail. That's kind of like
that's what I'm trying to get.
An air conditioner heater.
Yeah, this one. This is an old dinosaur, right?
Well, I mean, it's months old.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is an issue that's been.
This isn't one of the new ones.
Exactly. That was 248.3, 238.4 game support for custom procedural arcs. So now this is allowing modding, and they've got an example here.
So yeah, game support for custom procedural art generators, aka or ALA. I think they meant AKA mods.
So what they have here, this is a mod for the procedural generation of arcs. So this is a mod called Lots O Rocks. And I'll just read the description for you. Hey, I heard you like rocks. Like really, really, really love rocks. Well, then I've got the procedural arc generator for you. Enjoy lots of huge rocks in the grasslands biome. So if you install
on the procedurally generated ones, it'll just put a ton of rocks.
If that, I mean, I don't know why, but
maybe if you want to be able to go and harvest them.
Yeah.
And
I guess
maybe somebody was just messing around.
Well, that's all this is. So now this is cool. So these are mods that will control how a map is generated. So that's pretty neat. It's like almost like a seed, but it's a mod.
Yep. So you can then go and, I mean, this really opens up the possibilities.
Oh yeah,
because you can generate your map and then you can have custom things, whatever you would like.
Exactly. And then here's another unrevisioned hotfix. Primitive Plus now has fixed animations and various updated content. There's been not issues, but there's been little things in here with Primitive Plus since it's come out, so they're still it seems like every other patch working.
They did
on
one
little
point.
things here
They
and
did
there.
a couple of versions on Proto Plus, so they've been really working on that in the last.
And there was
couple weeks.
issues. I mean, I remember when it just came out.
Loaded really slow.
Falcon having just little discrepancies here and there that were problems. And then 248.5, which will bring us current, implemented a fix for spoiling spoiling times. I guess there was an issue with that. And it's a pretty significant issue when they say highly recommend servers getting this update. So spoiling times are all out of whack. So that'll bring us up to date at 248.5 for
and
Arc.
then in 2 days we'll have 249. So that'll be the Arc Fear Evolved 2. So this is the second Halloween that they've done this, where they have the vampires, werewolves, and then the Dota Rex, which we will be doing on Friday. So this is the sequel to the Ultimate Survival Holiday themed event. So this is the one that really got us into this game, because we saw the video for this. Their presentation of like, here's the holiday event for Halloween. You remember that?
That was what got us into Arc, I believe.
Yeah.
See if I can.
And so that was one that for me, I was like, man, this looks awesome. So I'm sure they'll be putting out another one of those. I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, we'll check that out.
Yeah, let's see. Play a few. This is the video that started our.
Okay, so
our
here's one thing.
Arc.
Yeah. Okay, let's go and play this, and then we'll.
Well, no, go ahead and talk over it. There's not really anything.
Okay, here's something interesting though. It says you'll get to tame snakes. You've never been able to tame snakes before, so it says in these notes. Back on the island, you'll get to tame snakes and encounter rare vampire bats and rabid dire wolves. So that must be something that they're going to be adding as a feature, is being able to tame a snake.
Thanks, Green Man Cartoons, for the $10 donation there. Okay, so here we go, Brian. Then what is the point of taming a snake?
I don't know. I don't know that you'll be able to ride them.
There's no saddle.
But it may be something that you can have follow you.
Is this going to be like a dodo where you just kind of have it?
Yeah, and stuff. It could possibly knock out things that are around you. You can maybe use it to attack something and knock it out, because it does have the ability to poison something.
Yeah.
So yeah, have the Titan boas go around with you, and I'm assuming that is going to be a permanent thing, not just for this. I'm assuming that's a new feature that they'll be releasing in this. So this will be a lot of fun.
Yes. This video, by the way, is fantastic. This there'll be I'm going to throw a link in the show notes to it if you want to check it out. But they're just fantastic job with with their events like this. By the way, I hope the turkey does not come back for Halloween. That thing was
that'll be for Thanksgiving. So
that's what I meant. I'm sorry, Thanksgiving. I hope that was our first experience.
We'll be stronger this time. we're so new. We're getting destroyed by turkeys,
and they follow you around forever. No matter what, they do not.
Maybe
die.
that was a bug. I don't know if that was.
No, that was not a bug. That was 100% how they were supposed to work.
So, yeah. Now we know what we're doing. That we came in at the wrong time.
Yeah.
I know one thing I want to mention. So, Lady Leknin, we call her Ladykin. She gave a donation during the week. I think when you were streaming, so she gave a $2 donation. I just want to mention that. And then Green Man, this is 2 donations in a row for him. So 2 $10 donations. Thank you very much.
Yep. And
check out his stream. So Ladykin has a Twitch stream, and then Green Man,
we've already
the one who does the cartoons.
Yeah, we've seen Green Man and his cartoons in the past. So he's working on some cool stuff. I think he's doing Overwatch. I think that's what his current cartoon in the works is. So check them out, and of course we appreciate their support. So. All right, you want to do the game giveaway? What do we got?
Yeah, so let's go ahead and do this one's going to be Intrusion 2.
Okay.
And I'll put a link here. And I should probably reset before people start typing too crazily.
All right, and while Brian is getting all that done, of course, if you are interested in donating at any point during the week, not just during the live show, if you can't make it live, you can head on over to infectionpodcast.com/PAX, PAX, and you can help us get to our goal and help make this trip possible. So, of course, we appreciate everybody that has and will be donating in the future. And, of course, you'll be hearing a lot about that over the next couple of months, but you can head on over there and get that. So,
now, so this is Intrusion 2. I've reset the raffles, so you guys are more than welcome to go ahead and enter ! raffle on that. This is a side scroller. It's a platformer, indie 2D physics sci-fi game. It looks like a lot of fun. I've got it Yeah, so $10 right now on Steam, but you should check it out. It's free.
Digging the art
Exclamation
style.
raffle.
I like it.
Yeah, it's like a kind of a pixely.
It's got a cool art style.
What it reminds me of some of the old Nintendo.
Reminds me
style.
of Sonic.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
What's the one with tanks? What was that old arcade game that had tanks in it? That's what it reminds me of. Is kind of that look.
You're asking the wrong person.
Like the cartoony tanks. Anyway, someone will know what that is. So exclamation point raffle that are and to enter you into this, and then we'll go ahead and partially into maybe the H1Z1 news. I'll roll that.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, Full Metal. There we go. Full Metal. That was the game that this kind of reminds me of.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you got some other friends in here that are that are willing to help you out. All right.
No. Okay, not Full Metal. Yeah, Metal Slug. That's what it is. We got there.
Perfect.
Metal Slug. You never played Metal Slug?
No. Why? I wouldn't have.
Okay.
How would I have played an arcade game?
Well, they have it on PC now.
Oh. There we go.
It was in a Humble Bundle a while ago.
Was it? Okay. Thanks, Ivory Hawk, for the $10 donation. He says, spend this on beer. Well, he's gonna be unpleasantly not happy when this is going towards our PAX.
We'll make Nick drink all $10 worth of the cheapest beer we can find at PAX, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that'll be fantastic. That's
everywhere.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. So let's talk about everybody's favorite game, Brian. Everybody's favorite game.
Yes.
H1Z1. So
the game that brought us all together.
The game that you know what? For 93 weeks, we have been sitting here and in one form or another have talked about this game every week for 93 weeks. I don't think we've
missed a week.
We have not missed a week.
I think at worst we would have said there were absolutely no updates this week.
We have talked about this game religiously. So we had an update today, a pretty big update, with some things that they've been working on that we've heard, that are coming. They're finally here. This is the October 25th server maintenance. The servers are supposed to go down at 3 a.m. Pacific and be down for 4 hours and then come back up. And we'll cover that in a few minutes here. But features, the scrapyard feature that we had heard and we'd talked about and we'd seen on the test server is now in the live server, the live King of the Kill server, and it does work. I was able to do that and scrap a bunch of things. It's in there now. I
won't tell you how many things I've scrapped so far.
Yeah, well, Brian scrapped one and got the gun that I want. Got the one skin I wanted, but it's fine because I didn't want it anyway, I guess. So that's in there. You can use your event tickets you get 100 scrap per event ticket. 100 scrap turns into a single skin. You can you can scrap other shirts and other skins for anywhere between.
There's different values to it because
5 and 200 is the value.
Yeah.
A rare item is worth 200.
50. Oh well, no, sorry. So the standard's 50.
No, there's stuff that's 5
or
too.
20. Sorry, 20. I've seen stuff that I've only gotten 20.
There's 20. So there's a few things that are 5. For example, the Halloween mask that you got during those patches that everybody got, those are worth 5. There's a few other things that are worth 5. Everything else is pretty much worth 20, 50, or rare items are worth 200. So there's a kind of a range in there. But the way you go is you go to your appearance, you mouse over a skin that you have 10 of, and you'll see the prompt come up that says X to scrap, and it'll play a little circle animation, and the number will slowly go down until you get to 1. Now, people are accidentally scrapping things they don't want to scrap.
I did that once for a hat.
Okay, so just make sure you're careful.
A cowboy hat.
Make sure you're careful.
It is basing it off of what your mouse happens to be over, not what it was selected.
Correct. It is what your mouse is over.
It's a horrible way to do it. It's a horrible way to do it.
They definitely need a confirmation. So we'll.
Okay, so here, let me get your opinion on this, because I was doing this today.
Okay.
And I think that they should have a checkbox that says lock final item. You know what I'm saying? So you can't scrap without a confirmation box.
The final item? Yeah, that would be
the one. So you can hit X, because I've got 15 trucker hats that I scrapped today.
Yeah. And
I have to sit there and count. All right, what? Because they're kind of delayed.
Yeah, they are delayed.
So you have to do them one at a time.
Yeah.
Why don't you just have a checkbox or give the option to scrap all but one?
Yeah, a scrap all but one would be pretty cool. I don't want to do I don't want a confirmation every time, because like you said, if you have 15 skins of the same thing, you don't want to X accept, X accept, X accept. Definitely a lock on the last item or some type of confirmation would be cool. to do that. And I'm sure something like that would be very easy to implement. Again, this is a first pass at it on the live servers, so just be mindful of what you're doing. Don't rush through it, or you'll delete something you want. So that's in the game now. You can check it out. Everybody has event tickets because they've been useless for months. So everybody's got at least a couple event tickets that you can.
Yeah, I had 105.
Yeah, I had like 20. So all that stuff is in there now. The next thing that they added, which I saw in full effect, was if you're wearing a hoodie and you equip a helmet, the hoodie will automatically go down, which is a big deal. Because there was never a way to tell. You couldn't tell if somebody was running in the distance if they had a helmet or not, if they had a hoodie on.
And if you're coming at somebody, you couldn't tell how stacked they were, because you can't see their body armor, all the time, depending on what maybe they're wearing. Yeah. And you also can't see the helmet, so you don't know how many shots is this going to take this guy out. Should I be aiming for the head? Usually you will, but it will take, if he has a helmet on, it'll take you a couple of hits to get him.
Yeah. So that's I think that's a very useful feature, to have that just kind of rolling back, which I saw some people kind of upset about it, but I think in the long run it's a good call for them.
Yeah.
Now the Infernal Crate is now live and on the servers. You can buy them now, and we're gonna go through some of the items here. They haven't done this before, Brian. They have a really cool page on the website that shows with animations what some of the different things are. So they've got this Infernal, they've got the red demon mask, and then they've also got the green.
And they have the rarity level as well. So like those are ultra rare.
And
those demon
if you
masks.
notice, they're animated. There's kind of this green glowing or red glowing either eye or horns coming out of these skins that are animated. Now, the Infernal 12 gauge shotgun is also animated. This thing looks sick. With how it's got this green pulsating glow that goes.
And they've not done that before.
No, this is the first time they've done something like anything with animations, which they look really, really cool, at least from just this little animation we have here. This 308 sniper rifle with kind of a skull design on that. The Chiller dance emote, not to be confused with the Thriller, which is a copyrighted term.
Even though it's the exact same movement.
Even though it's the exact same thing. This one I was a little upset with this is literally just the pig skin, and they're calling it something different. So,
but it's sewn together and it looks a little more disgusting.
Yeah. Okay. They've got a few helmets in here, a Day of the Dead jacket, a Full Metal pumpkin mask, and just kind of a few other Halloween-y things. The thing I like the most is this Halloween hoodie. I think that's really cool with the pumpkin face across the whole thing. Yeah, it's fine. So there's a few other things on here as well that are pretty cool, but personally, I like this Halloween hoodie. I
always go for the tactical stuff.
As do I, but this is cool. I totally wear this for the next couple weeks while playing the game. Not like being stealthy and King of the Kill really matters. You see people anyway, no matter what they're wearing. Yeah. So that's.
I got some crazy super super bright, all crazy color helmet, and I was like, I'll never wear this because it's like a big target.
Rasta helmet.
No, it's even brighter than that.
Huh, interesting. Okay.
It's like a not a tie-dye one, but I'll have to look and see if I can find it.
Nice.
I'll look. If you want to.
All right. So that's those are the new features to the game. We also had a few bugs. Some of these bugs are pretty significant, and I think a lot of people kind of went over these. Here are a few that are important to me and important to some other people as well. Players occupying the same space, aka two people standing in the exact same spot, they will now both take damage from incoming projectiles, which I guess they didn't have in the past. I don't know how that worked.
It must have picked which one.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever been in a situation where I was standing on top of somebody and getting hit, but I guess that was a thing. First time events, which are the press W to open the map, press A or D to go from side to side, now only occur in training, which sometimes they were randomly popping up in the servers for some reason. So the first time kind of help hint events will only be popping up in training now. This one I know you've got some opinions on. The bullet icons were redone to make it more obvious which rounds of ammo you have in your inventory. So now when you have ammo, it says for the shotgun it says shot, for the AR and the AK it makes it very clear what kind of ammo you have.
They have a very different look.
But it's only in your inventory.
Yeah, so the 380 and the 308 like had very similar bullets.
Yeah.
Which was frustrating. Now, for me, I feel like this was a waste. I mean, I understand that they needed this eventually, but what I had told you outside of the show was I'd rather see them change the bullet boxes that you're picking up.
They should, because
that's what matters to me. I know what I have in H1Z1, like in the inventory screen. Once I'm in there, I can see the words. But when I'm running up to an object, and let's say that maybe there's not a gun next to it, like you would have in Just Survive, you can't see the difference between a 45 rounds, AR rounds, like all those are in the same box.
Well, here's the thing that I find interesting. Does it really matter what you have in your inventory? It's like you don't
well, once you pick it up.
But that's the thing. Like it's not like for example in Unturned you have to drag the ammo to your gun. There is no. Yeah. The gun's automatically loaded if you have the ammo. All you have to do is
hit reload and
it pulls it from your bag. So I don't understand the point of this. It doesn't matter what you have. It doesn't matter what you have in your bag. No. I mean, you see it. You don't have to reload it, or you don't have to do anything manually to reload it.
It's just for mainly dropping them. But that's the thing.
But who drops ammo?
What matters the most
is picking up.
Is seeing it before you get to it to know. Oh, I'm going to go find, because the shotgun stands out so much. You're like,
stock
I'm
on
going to go find shotgun
the R380.
Yeah, and so you go pick that up, and those are the only ones that are really different. That's the frustrating thing, is the ones that you usually will want to find and pick up, you can't tell the difference between.
Exactly. So
there's I got the rainbow swirl helmet. That's not showing the picture there, but that's what I got.
Great, enjoy.
Nice. Nice how it doesn't.
So that's one of the things that I don't know. I could take or leave. This one now is 100% the biggest thing in this patch. I don't care if you disagree with me. You're wrong. Reloading will always be interrupted by other game actions like healing and looting. This was arguably the biggest issue in King of the Kill, was the fact that when you were reloading, you could not bandage. You would stuck. You kept pressing Q to bandage, and it would start, but then the reload would cancel the bandage, and you couldn't cancel the reload. It was just a disaster. That's finally fixed. You will still be able to open doors while reloading, but everything else will stop the reloading action now, which I like.
Now, can I tell you one thing that is frustrating still?
Okay.
That I ran into earlier today is when you go to loot an airdrop, you're in that inventory and someone starts shooting at you. Like if you hit escape to get out of it, it brings up that menu rather than taking you out of the box that you're looting.
I was looting a bag. No, it's not even just it's anything that you're looting inside.
Anything that you go to loot.
I was looting a bag and I pressed escape and I was like, oh no, now my escape menu is up.
So then I'm like trying to move and I can't move because that menu's up.
And you die.
And so then I'm hitting escape again, and then I'm trying to it created a horrible situation.
Yeah, I got killed.
If only they would have make it so that if you hit space,
hit space. If you press escape inside of
anything,
if you are inside of an inventory and you press escape, it should take you out of the inventory. If you press escape again and you're not in anything, it takes you to the menu. That's how it should work.
That's just still for me is just such a silly way to do it. I mean,
it doesn't make sense. It's every game ever, pressing escape takes you out of whatever you're in. Yeah, that's just how it works.
And then this one instead brings up some menu that then you have to hit escape and try to get out of multiple times. It's horrible. It's frustrating.
It is frustrating, and you end up getting killed sometimes because of it. That's been I got killed the exact same thing this morning playing a solo.
And if you and I both got killed in the same thing today, obviously it's a problem.
Yeah,
the same thing killed us both in one day. It's got to be happen to tons of people.
It's just habit. Somebody starts shooting at you, you're in a bag, you press escape to try to get out of the bag, it brings up the pause menu. It just doesn't make any sense. So but the reloading thing is good, and I think that's probably the biggest thing they could have implemented with this patch for King of the Kill. The next one is the floral settings can now be correctly set. They were in there before, but I guess they weren't doing anything. The floral are trees, bushes, grass, the quality of detail on those, so you cannot set that low, medium, or high, and I guess it actually sets it. So I guess that's an issue. Shift dropping a particular stack from your inventory will no longer lock the inventory screen. I don't do a whole lot of inventory management I mean, I don't really need to.
I do. I don't remember this happening though.
I mean, with the tan military, I'd never really run out of slots.
Well, you know me, I hoard everything.
Yeah, Brian will get like 600 rounds and then get shot being stuck inside of somebody's inventory.
I've had like 700.
Yeah, I don't bother.
AR rounds.
I don't bother at all. But I guess that was the thing. The menu was locking up from time to time. Left click looting a stack will now loot the entire stack. So if you left click
rather
on a
than
stack,
one at a time,
exactly, it'll loot the entire thing. Some users were experiencing frame drops when using the inventory. This was due to a high DPI mice. I don't know what the correlation between that is, but it's been fixed, whatever the issue was. Some items were being duped in your inventory when skinning it. This has been fixed. That was far and few in between. This was not a widespread issue. Now this was an issue, and I had this happen to me. Some laminated body armor was disappearing from your inventory when you were already equipped with a makeshift. I had this issue. I had a makeshift on.
I remember you bringing it up.
Picked up the laminated, and it was gone. It was not on the ground. It wasn't in my inventory. I don't know what happened to it, but it was gone. This one I'm not really understanding. Maybe you can help me out with this. Muting voice chat in Fort Destiny will no longer incorrectly mute voice chat everywhere. They're not talking about in the menu. They're talking about like the Control M to mute the audio.
Yes, because that's what happened.
That's what I want to do.
Remember, I said I don't remember if you were in there with us, but I was like, I muted Fort Destiny, and like now I can't hear anyone.
See, I just turned down the whole audio, the whole thing.
And plus their menu items were bugged, like they were switched.
I don't know what.
They fixed it in the test server, I know, but it would say, do you want to mute Fort Destiny? And that meant that you wanted to hear people talking in Fort Destiny. It was backwards.
Okay.
So you have to turn it off what should be on.
I'm fine if
actually hear it.
I'm fine if there's chat in game. I just don't want to hear it in the fort. So I guess I can actually do.
So now that'll work correctly.
Gotcha. If you these are little issues here. If you need to switch regions within the UI, switching physical regions like game regions within the UI, you'll no longer end up in an unresponsive state. I guess it was just kind of freezing up the game.
This makes a difference because we have a lot of people that play from Europe.
Exactly. And then here's another one with switching regions as well. There was a bug causing player the player crate inventory, so how many crates you had, to kind of get screwed up when you were changing regions. Something going on with servers not communicating properly. So all that stuff is fixed. Or at least we believe it's fixed, and it should be more consistent now. There's a few other. So, jeez, here we go. They do these patch notes, and we do this show, Brian, as you know. Yeah. I love when they do patch notes. I love when they tell us what they change,
because otherwise they don't say a word.
But in this case, the patch notes are not everything that it changed in the game. And for the life of me, I cannot figure out why Daybreak cannot figure out how to do these patch notes. If you change something, put it in your notes. I mean, there's stuff that I wrote down 3 or 4 things that I know changed right away. Yeah. Being in the game for 1 second, I could see, oh, that's new, or oh, that's different. Why is that not in the patch notes, Brian? Why are they not including that stuff in the notes? Every little change on Ark, every little change. They spell a word, a word was spelled wrong, and they fix the spelling. It's in the update notes because it's an update. Why are they not including everything? This is why we run into issues where things get constantly broken, because they're fixing things and changing things that they don't say they're fixing or changing, and it breaks the entire game. Here's the list. For example, there's no longer a cooldown when you're leaving from the lobby. Previously,
which was a thing,
which was a big issue.
Maybe they're thinking, oh, it wasn't supposed to be like that anyway.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Still you need to say
include it. So this was the issue. If you were playing in a 5-man BR and somebody crashed and you needed to leave and you clicked, went into the menu, clicked exit, you'd have to wait for the 10-second cooldown timer before you'd leave the game.
Which sometimes it says the game is starting in 5 seconds. Yes. Then you have to go into the parachute scene.
You're screwed.
Then you have to exit again while you're landing for another 10 seconds.
Exactly. So
stupid.
That was an issue, but they changed that, which is good. I love that they changed it, but they didn't include it. They didn't include that. It's awesome. I'm glad they included that. Here's another one. You are now players are outlined in either red or pink from was it white before, I think, or green or blue, whatever color the players were outlined before. It's now red or pink. What does that mean?
They were white, I think, before.
I think they're white. What is the red and what is the pink? What's the difference?
Yeah,
Why
what's the
sometimes do we
difference?
see everybody red? Why sometimes is there one person pink? I mean, why is this stuff not being included? It was a clear change that they made. A clear change that they made. What does it mean? Why? What is the future of it? I mean, why are they not including this crap? This is stuff that is so... It's just so blatant. You log into the game, and I'm playing with PH, and the first thing I see is he's outlined in red. I'm like, what the hell? Why is this not in the update notes? I mean, it's an update.
Well,
it's a change.
See, but that leads to another... Here's a frustration that leads to. I want to go out and find out, okay, helmets now. Is there a difference between the military style helmet and the bike helmet? Do they have the same amount of damage? Since they make these changes and they never tell us, they don't put them in any notes anywhere. We're going off of who knows how old information of, okay, is it a one-shot kill with a face shot now with the military one, or did they make them the same? They don't tell you these things, and so we're relying on guessing or something that we heard or someone said on Reddit, because they don't put out any official information.
Do what Russ does. Put every single change in a note, and then let the audience and let the players decide what they want to read and what they don't want to read. But do not nitpick and decide what you feel like including. I mean, don't even bother posting the notes. If you're not going to include everything, don't post the notes. I really don't care. If you're not going to include every single change you made, don't bother posting anything. I'd rather not read whatever you feel like telling me. I want to read. I want to either read everything or nothing. It's really simple.
It's wrong.
Yeah, there's times that exactly. So it's just include it all, or don't bother Daybreak, or just don't bother doing a note. It's really that simple.
Okay, so what it feels like to me is that, and you can tell me if you think this is correct, is that this is their job to once in a while post notes. And so rather than this being something that they're meticulously doing of every time there's a change, I'm taking that list and then I am maybe making it more friendly for our audience. They're not doing that. They're at the end of the week saying, what did we add? Oh, what was in this? Oh, what did that guy do? And he's typing in then the things that he remembers got changed, not cultivating the list and curating the list of what actually happened, because there's so many things that are missed on this.
Yeah. Well, and there's probably other things that we don't even know.
Doing this from a real list.
And there could be things that are happening behind the scenes that we're not even familiar with. So there's a lot of other things with this. Another quick thing, and then we'll do the raffle, and then I've got another thing I want to cover with this game. There'll be a link in the show notes, infectionpodcast.com, for a scrapyard list document that somebody put on Reddit. There's 86 different items that you can get from the scrapyard system, and somebody on Reddit went through and put a nice Google spreadsheet together with all of the items, what's their rarity, and then what crate they're from. So you can get stuff from the Easy W crate, the Predator, or the Renegade and Wasteland crate. So all that stuff is on there and available. So that's cool stuff. Let's do the giveaway, and then I've got another
all right,
lovely
let's
thing
draw
we need to
this.
talk about.
And Manstan, who I know loves winning these things, because he's like, oh, I won another one, and he always thanks me afterwards, which is very nice when he wins.
Awesome.
So, so the Manstan, congratulations, and I will send you a code inside of Twitch. Just look under your other folder, because it will probably be in there. And for our next one, to kind of give it a teaser, our next giveaway will be Rust.
Yes.
And that was given to us by Stairwave. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we'll have that right before the end of the show here. Now, Brian, I know you've got some opinions on this one. So let me go through my morning, Brian. I had a class that was canceled this morning. I had one class today, Brian, and it was canceled. So I was perfect. I'm going to sit home. I'm going to play some H1Z1. I knew they were doing the patch, which they've done in the past, and I hoped that, hey, this would be all set and this would be rocking and rolling and ready to go. So it was a 3.5 gigabyte update patch, which indicates again that they did stuff that they didn't say, because what was included was not 4 gigabytes worth of updates. It wasn't a map. They didn't re-export the map. The map is bigger than that, unless they re-optimized the map somehow and shrunk it down. So they did something. I'm not sure what. At 11:02 a.m. Eastern, they tweeted, "We are getting ready to unlock the servers now," which is the same tweet that we've seen over and over and over again. As they're brought up, make sure you read today's patch notes. So cue the streamers, cue everybody getting ready to, these people stream. This is their income source. They're full-time live streamers, so they make money playing these games.
Yep.
So 11 o'clock comes, they're like, hey, we're going to start the servers up. The streamers start kicking on their streams. Everybody gets ready to go. And just like clockwork, just like every other patch that they do, every single time this happens, it does not work. It does not work. 100% of the time, these patches do not work. So let's talk about all the issues, Brian. Let's talk about the issues. So it connects you to the game. You log in, right? You click connect. You join a lobby. Within 5 seconds, it kicks you for being idle. It crashes the game.
I really felt sorry for
Dr. Disrespect
this morning.
I was watching it. I was watching him this morning as well, and it was just. This is the problem. This is what was happening. I mean, it's comical almost. They allow this patch to go through. They say at 11 o'clock they're unlocking the servers. Everybody gets all hyped. They log into the game, which, by the way, the login worked. It lets you into the launcher. It lets you into the game. It lets you into the lobby. It kicks you for being inactive instantly within 10 seconds. It crashes your game and then launches Just Survive.
Just Survive.
You can't even make that up. It quits King of the Kill you're trying to play. It quits King of the Kill, and if you don't have Just Survive installed, it tries to install it. If you do have Just Survive installed, it launches
the launcher.
Every single time.
Okay, now this is those separate development teams, right? These are two totally separate games. Remember that?
What is this? What was it trying to do?
It's trying to relaunch the game.
Yeah, but why?
Probably because they are doing the same base code. They just happen to have done it first in Just Survive, and then they didn't change the app ID in Steam. So probably in Just Survive, on the new one that they're getting ready to release, when it crashes, it automatically relaunches the game because it crashed. They were supposed to do that, and instead they put the other app ID for the original H1Z1 in, and not the new Just Survive, which was the new a duplicate title that it came out to be,
and
right?
of course,
Or
Twitter and Reddit having a field day with this is the only way that they can get people to play Just Survive is by literally forcing them to launch it. So 11 o'clock, they unlock the servers. They do not work, like always. 11:45 rolls around, so 45 minutes later, all the servers are coming back down for quick maintenance, yada, yada, yada. The same BS that we've seen time and time again. And then it just seems like
he loaded into that test, like what's that one called? The kind of the run around, mess around mode, the training one. And I went in there and was messing around with it, and that's where I really noticed the ammo on the ground being just a huge mess, because there's just random ammo everywhere, and you have no clue which one is which, and so you have to go and look at every single piece of ammo to figure out what you need to pick up.
So around 11:45, they took the servers back offline Eastern to fix the issue, and then around 1:30ish Eastern, the servers came back up.
Yeah.
My question to you, Brian, my question to the audience, my question to the staff at Daybreak, which I know for a fact still listens to this podcast.
Sometimes.
Why is stuff like this not being caught internally? I mean, this isn't a sporadic issue. This was every single player on every single server. How was this not caught? And why did it take 3 hours to fix? I mean, what is this development team doing all day? I mean, seriously, 3 freaking hours?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense.
This is something that, as you said, should have been fixed on the test servers.
It wasn't on the test servers, Brian. That's the problem. They don't use them. It should have
been caught on the test server. And the reason, and they say, but people don't use the test servers. The reason that they don't use the test servers is because there's no incentive. And this is something I feel like I've been you ever feel like a broken record?
Yeah, every single week, Brian. We sit here every week and we say, this game sucks, this game sucks, this game sucks. And it just rolls around in a circle. It's the same crap.
And that's something I've kept saying. You need to incentivize the test servers.
But
Give people
hold
a
on.
reason to go on the test servers, and then you'll catch this kind of
But
stuff.
this was
And
never
then
on
put
test.
things on the test server.
That's the thing, is Manson is saying, right, it never went to test. The test servers were perfectly
They
fine.
feel like the game is done. They don't need to test anymore. It should have been released on the 20th.
They
Or
just
was that a month ago?
Yeah, it was a month ago. They just
A
don't
month and 5 days ago.
get rid of the test servers, Daybreak. You guys are so incompetent. So incompetent. I'd love to give them, Brian said in pre-show, 3 weeks ago I was giving them the benefit of the doubt. I don't even know what to say anymore. I mean, this is like game dev 101. How is this not? Did they even bother launching this game internally and trying to connect? Honestly, I don't think there's no way they could have. There is absolutely no way they launched this internally.
Well, that's the problem, is it wasn't disconnecting them. So they never played it enough to have it ever disconnect.
Played it enough. They never played it once.
Just Survive.
They never played it once, Brian. It was happening 100% of the time on every single player. Nobody. It's not like it was a sporadic. Oh well, some people are crashing. Every single person was crashing.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, every single person was getting kicked for being idle, and then that was crashing the game. What were they doing? Did they even launch this internally?
This is where they need to have they treat the test servers like it's a whole separate install. Why don't they? I don't know. They should do it. I don't know any other game that does it like this. We look at Ark. Look how seamless that is. When it's released, things work.
Yeah, because they're not idiots and they clearly test stuff.
They tweak little things here and there for numbers or like little it's bitsy glitches that were like, man, I'm surprised they even caught that. Here, like the stuff doesn't get caught. And even if it does get caught, there's bugs that have been in there for months.
Well, here's the thing.
Lots of months.
Here's the difference between Daybreak and Wildcard Games. When they are not prone, they will, as we saw in this week's updates, the spoil time got screwed up, which they clearly caused, but they fixed it right away.
Yep.
Daybreak causes issues.
How long did we have that reload bug?
Since they launched Z2. It's been in there since they launched Z2.
Okay, well, let's go on to another one that's still an issue. Shotgun.
Yeah, well, okay, so let's talk about this next.
I saw Dr. Disrespect this morning have that exact bug. He shot somebody twice. They had 100% health. Point blank.
Yeah, I clipped it, actually.
yeah, you did. I mean, if you want to pull that up, I mean, that's a perfect example. I watched it several times to make sure that he actually hit him. The first time, guaranteed. The second time, depending on when he clicked. Oh man, but that should have been at least damage.
So here is Dr. Disrespect, who Brian and I were both watching this morning, playing this, dealing with the shotgun, which doesn't work.
Same bug.
Same bug. It just doesn't work. So here we go.
GG.
So here it is again. I mean, how are those bullets missing?
Dead on. His helmet's still on.
I mean,
so it didn't. What you can't say that.
I mean, here you go.
2 shots hit his helmet and his body armor.
I can't get rid of it. The play button, but I mean, there's the circle, right? I mean, can everybody?
There was no hit marker.
Can everybody see this circle right here? I mean, that's the circle. The player is right here. Why are these hits not registering?
Yep.
I understand that they may need to work issues like this out, but I cannot get past the fact, under no circumstances do I see where they clearly did not test this patch internally at all. At all. They did not even bother launching it and trying to join a game internally. Because if they did, they would have seen this issue. Or they saw the issue and just pushed it live anyway, which is even worse.
Oh, and Green Man, he pointed out, because I heard this morning too, the AK still does that firing after death.
So
keeps firing.
So here's another issue with the AK. I was getting an intermittent AK bug where the AK would not load, would not reload. It would say 0 out of 30, and it would just constantly just keep reloading, but it would not load bullets into the shell or bullets into the gun. And I posted it on Reddit under the infection account, and a few other people said they were having the exact same issue. And it stopped, but I guess that's a new intermittent issue. So the shotgun is I mean, you heard him say, "I'm done using the shotgun today." He's good with the shotgun. He's not using it. It's the gun he goes to. So the shotgun's intermittently garbage. The AK, I don't even know if that thing's going to reload now when I'm picking it up, or if I go through my whole round, is it going to reload? So you've got one gun that you can use. The AR is the only gun. I mean, you're not going to use a pistol. So you've got
I
one
use the
gun.
revolver and the AR for the most part.
That's going to be it. You can't use anything else.
I've fallen back onto the AK just because that's the best short range, because shotguns don't work. But as you said, sometimes it's inconsistent. Now, here's a weird bug that I ran into in the training ground. If after you died, I hit continue, I would go to the parachute scene and I would have all white gear and I couldn't pick up any weapons.
It's like you were an angel. You're everything. Yeah. You were all white.
But they could kill me. That's the opposite part of being an angel. Is they could kill me.
So I don't know what was going on with that. I just
and that's not even on. That's anyways. That stuff should work. Why does it not work? Who's testing it? We both ran into it. It obviously everybody runs.
I mean,
into
and Ivory's saying it's buckshot too. I mean, even if you don't hit the shotgun right on in that little dot, it's buckshot.
It's not a slug.
No, I know.
Something's gonna hit him.
I know exactly. It goes out. I mean, no hit markers. And it's funny. I don't like today. I was forced to use a shotgun. One shot, I got a headshot with it from like a decent distance too. I don't know how that happened. So it's just inconsistent. It's completely it's unusable. The shotgun is now officially unusable in this game. 100% unusable.
Yep.
And how can you rely on this gun?
I mean, because it's not like it's not firing. It's firing. And you're just dying because it's not working correctly.
I mean, if you go on Reddit every day, there will be somebody posting a YouTube video of them unloading with the shotgun. I mean, shooting people from behind that aren't even looking at them. And the shots are just one after another, after another, after another, and not getting a single hit. It's not like they're getting hit markers and they're not dying. They're not getting anything. Or I've had the same thing where I land 5 hit markers on somebody, and then they kill me with 97% health. I mean, how does that happen?
That's the crazy thing about the shotgun. I've sat there and chased somebody and just unloaded 7, 8, 9 shots on them from a distance that if you were shooting birds, the birds would die, but the person's not taking damage. It's just that their range on it is so messed up. And what's the primary point of this game? Like,
and by the way, I've got another.
It's gunplay. Like this whole game is about gunplay, and that's the thing that's so messed up about this.
So you asked the question about helmets before. Doesn't every gun take one shot to break the helmet, or some supposed to, right? I got one shotted by the shotgun today with laminated body armor and a helmet on. So is the shotgun now? Does the shotgun now? And it was a headshot. It wasn't a body shot. It was a headshot. So does the shotgun
did
now?
You have? And this is the thing I was asking. Did you have the motorcycle?
I had the motorcycle helmet on.
Which supposedly, and that's the thing is, did they change that and just not ever tell anybody? Like, these are the things that I would like to know when I'm playing, because I specifically put on the motorcycle helmet because supposedly it stops a face shot every time. It makes it so you can take a second shot. Is that not true anymore? If so, I'd like to know. It changes my gameplay.
I don't have a clue, Brian. I don't know what to expect. It's blatantly obvious that they're doing updates and not posting what they're doing. Week after week after week. Oh, it's not even week after week. It's like month after month, because they don't even do weekly updates. I mean, we're not going to see we probably won't see another update in 3 weeks.
This was their big update we're not seeing it before. Okay, Halloween's a holiday for them. Thanksgiving, like, they're going to squeeze in 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, right? Of maybe some development. Then there's nothing. And then we're going to squeeze in 2 weeks before Christmas. Then there will be nothing till after the New Year. So we're not going to get any updates.
We're 2 months.
This is my guess.
2 months from today is Christmas.
Till next year, we are not going to get updates till next year. I mean, I guessed this last year and I was right.
2 months from today is Christmas.
They'll put out their Christmas, whatever, their hat, whatever they're going to do for Christmas as far as skins. They'll hopefully before Halloween put out this update there.
Well, I don't know if they're doing a Halloween update. They've got the Halloween crate in there. That might be all they're doing.
And they're not really focusing on Just Survive. I mean, that was the only thing they were really doing was putting it.
Exactly.
They may not even do that this year.
And I wouldn't see.
Nobody's playing it.
No, exactly.
Why waste your time?
Exactly.
Time.
I have no interest in a Halloween update. I think it would be completely useless. So yeah, I mean, realistically, I don't think we're looking at much for the rest of the year. I mean, unless they're working on something big behind the scenes and it gets finished, but I don't know what it could be. They're not working on Just Survive. I don't know what the hell they're doing on King of the Kill. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I mean, the scrapyard thing that was their big thing, and now it's done.
But it's not working 100%.
That's because their servers
click 30 times to get it to work.
So I don't know what's going on, but I mean, there you go. That's H1Z1 for you. Congratulations. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, what a waste of a day. It was 2:00 before I was able to start playing.
Yep.
So
patch day. I mean, at least it wasn't 24 hours of patches of them being down. I mean, they got it up, but they didn't even test it. They didn't have somebody log in. Like, why don't they have a whitelist to where certain people can load in to the menu and then at least log into the game beforehand, of just closed testers to where before they unlock it to everybody? Because obviously they just unlocked it to everybody without even testing one person.
But Brian, they needed one guy. Like they just needed one person.
That's what I'm saying. They should have had just one person that logged in and said, "Oh, it let me in."
There's not even words to describe it. I mean, it's so blatantly stupid. There's just nothing I can even say. Congratulations, Daybreak. And this is specifically why I will not spend another penny on this game. I'm not buying any keys. I'm not buying any crate. I'm not buying anything. That is the exact reason I will not spend a dime on this game. Because then you're promoting development crap like this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. This is exactly the reason people have to decide when you want change. You decide with your wallet. And clearly people are still buying stuff. I mean, what, $200 and something thousand was 1/4 of keys sold for the Invitational?
Yeah.
So it's just whatever, man. I don't have any hope for this game now. I really have absolutely no hope. They can't even do an update without the game being down for 12 hours. It was literally down for 12 hours.
Now that the tournament's done, there's it seems like there's not the drive anymore. Like before they had the tournament and they were like, "Oh, we got to get this done before the tournament." And now, like we see with this patch,
I mean, there's still the one neighborhood where grass is covering the road in the one portion. There's still a water tower that is floating in the middle of a city. Just drag it down and I mean, you did a 4 gigabyte update today. Why would that not have been included? The water tower is still floating. That grass is still covering the road in that subdivision.
There's buildings that are stacked on top of each other you can't walk through because there's walls going through walls.
It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, what are these people doing? It's just...
They had to release a new skin today for Christmas or for Halloween, and now they'll be doing 8 weeks of preparing for the they've been doing 8 weeks preparation for the Christmas one. It takes them 8 weeks to get a crate out of 8 weeks of all of their guys that are making those assets.
Welcome. This will be probably the last time we'll be able to talk about an H1Z1 update for probably until 2017. I'm not even joking. There may be 2 more updates in the rest of the year.
There might be some minor bug fixes.
Yeah. So, great. Look forward to it. Coming up on the H1Z1 podcast. Just absolutely ridiculous.
So, I wanted to talk a little. Let's talk about some other. Are you ready to move on to some other games?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just pissed. I'm just genuinely pissed off now. So, I might as well move on.
Let's talk about some other games. So, the Forest, they put their version 0.48. I think they go with the points on that 0.48 update. Yep. And they had where you can do custom wall angle snappings, because they have a really good building system in that.
Really good system.
They improved the multiplayer combat, so that was something that multiplayer wasn't really a thing, and so I'm wondering if this is kind of hinting at maybe having more players per server, hopefully. And then there's a new large raft that you can make in there, and then it says bug fixes and a lot more. So they've been improving how storage works.
Hey, they're pulling our catchphrase down and more. They gotta
and more.
They better be careful.
So this is a game that's still in development. This is 0.48, and they're actually changing. So they had a notice that they put out saying that they're changing how the end game story is. They said that initially when they made the game, they didn't realize how popular it was going to be.
Real? That's sad, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. We thought it was going to be a total flop. So
well, you never know in the game industry. So they said that kind of like the end game was just kind of like just some something they just kind of threw together. It
I
wasn't
like it.
really a big deal. So they said they've been working on the end game in the background for the last few months. And they said they've been really pushing it in the last few weeks with making it a big priority. So they said that they'll starting to be put out to where they're just pretty much reworking the whole ending to have it be some epic thing, like having it be something real. Because before, like when you crash, your son gets taken, and
spoiler
your goal is. Sorry, well, I mean you learn that in the first.
Brian, you got to
There's 2
understand,
minutes
Brian.
of the
This is
game.
the internet. Anything and everything can be spoiled.
Yeah. So they said, the original ending was planned as extremely simple and basic. However, with the support we have received during the alpha period from players, we've been encouraged to expand the ending into something much larger than originally intended. It's really important to us that the ending is special and memorable and also ties up all the loose ends: the family on the yacht, the red man, the missing children, the mutants, the missionaries, and most importantly, the player's missing son. So those will all be wrapped up in the new ending. So you can look forward to that. So they should start putting that in. They said they've been working on it for months, so I would expect to see it here in the next month or so.
We look forward to it.
Now, a game that I know you don't play, but this
I almost
is a game
did,
that I really
and I'm
enjoy.
Glad I didn't, because
So this is Elite Dangerous, and they put out the Guardian up 2.2 update. Now this was a 13 gigabyte update today.
wow.
It was huge. So this is arrived, and it puts it to 2.2 for Elite Dangerous Horizons, which is kind of their DLC, and I did get this. And Lance and I are planning on playing it maybe on Saturday, putting some time into this. And the regular Elite Dangerous version 1.7. And they rolled it out. It gives you a number of new ships. So you have a bunch of new, like an Imperial Fighter is a new playable ship, the F-63 Condor, Taipan. I mean, they just have a list of a whole bunch of new ships you can do. They've also added to where you can now carry other people. So you can have guests that come onto your ship and you can fly them around, maybe take them places. I mean, if you look at the list, do you have this list up?
I do.
It's got to be, I don't know how many pages this is, but it is a ton of content.
This would be 9 sheets of paper if I were to print it.
Yes. And so they've added like geysers and things to the planet surfaces, biological entities, points of interest now can be persistent. And then it says mysterious things added. And I'm wondering if they got a little bit of, it says I have a fan blowing into my mic. There we go. Is that better?
Yep. Thanks.
Okay. On this, I wonder if from the other game that's very similar, having such a low, like just not working.
Oh,
do you think
geez.
that?
Don't start.
I'm not even saying the name. Do you think that that's kind of motivated
Rhymes with
them
Mar
to say-
Medicine.
Yeah. Well, no, the other one.
I don't know what the other one is. Come on. What other game is having a lot of problems?
I'm trying to remember what the name of it was. The one that you said is going to be not Starfall 2.
Star Citizen?
No. The game that was supposed to be the epic space game.
Oh, No Man's Sky?
No Man's Sky, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, that game's a joke.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think that motivated them?
No, not at all. No Man's Lie. Yeah, No Man's Lie.
But this game is very similar to that, but
No,
this
it's
actually
not.
has real stuff.
No,
Yes, it is.
No, they're not similar. I mean, come on. This is like a real space game. No Man's Sky is like this is like, that would be like taking Arma and comparing it to Call of Duty. One is like a real military simulator, and one is walking around and hitting sheep.
Well, okay, but
I mean, come on.
before it was released, I expected it to be like this.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people did, and I
assuming
think that was part of
That's what I'm saying is, do you think that they were expecting that?
I don't know. I don't know what. No, I don't think so. I mean, I think
because this is such a huge update. I wonder if they were just trying to compete with it, expecting what they thought it was.
Well, the issue with No Man's Sky is people thought it was going to be what it wasn't. I think a lot of the expectations for it to be like Star Citizen in this game were propagated by bloggers and by the community, and not actually propagated by the developers themselves. But no, I don't necessarily think so. I mean, this is like a real like space game. Like didn't you buy a joystick to play this game?
Lance did, yeah.
Yeah, like you wouldn't buy you wouldn't buy a joystick to play No Man's Sky. It wouldn't take advantage of it. So
Yeah.
no, I don't think so.
See, they tailored they tailored Elite Dangerous around a specific joystick. So when you look down, if let's say you have the everything to do VR, if you look down, like your in-game controls look like your joystick.
It's pretty cool.
Pretty impressive. Anyway, so this has tons. So they have passengers now, so you can have passengers, and so they have AI inside of your ship, so you can get in your ship, kind of like, I mean, it is a lot like Robert Space Industries and all that. I mean, it's much less expensive.
Yes, much less expensive.
A ship you can actually earn with in-game money, and it doesn't cost you hundreds of literal dollars,
which you could be donating to us instead of spending. And yeah, by the way, insurance as well. I know a lot of people like that game, but it's a funny concept to. And they're not the first game to do it. I mean, Eve, I think, was the same way. Eve Online, and you remember there was that one battle like 5 years ago where like $2 billion worth of ships were destroyed. Yeah, this is a massive firefight. Everybody died. Yeah,
now
I mean, this is a good update.
They add things like escape, like for you to have passengers, you have to have escape pods so they can get away. And just, I mean, there's cool things in there. If you're into details, this is the type of thing that I know they promised with No Man's Sky, like NPC chatter. Like when you go in No Man's Sky, every single play guy has like the same name.
No. There's different languages. That's not true.
But I'm saying they're repeated so many times.
Yes, they are.
And that was kind of a frustration. People were thinking it was going to be very different. With this, you can listen and your different guys in your ship will be talking about things. I mean, this is a very impressive game, and it takes a lot to get into it. But I would encourage you, if you're looking for a good space sim, this is a very good space sim, and it's huge.
And what's
it's
$30?
It's real huge, not No Man's Sky huge. Yeah. This one is.
You need to buy the deluxe edition.
If you get the deluxe edition, that gives you the season pass, so that's Horizons as well, which gives you all features. So if you buy that, it gives you a bunch of what you're getting with that is some ship skins, which to me aren't super important. So you could get Elite Dangerous for $29.99 and then get the season pass for $29.99, but then you'd already be over, so you might as well get the deluxe edition.
There are some games like, for example, Civ 5, which I know Civ 6 out, but Civ 5, it's better to buy the $100-something version of the game that comes with everything instead of the $60. So this game,
because
is like that.
It is because you would pay more you'd pay $60. You'd pay this pretty much the same price getting them both separately, and you wouldn't get the skins. So you might as well just get the two together, and you would get all future expansions, like every update that comes out in the future. They're included in that Horizons.
Cool.
So all of this update that you got we're talking about today, that's all included in there. So definitely an awesome game, and I'm looking forward to digging into it because there's just so much new stuff. I mean, 13 gigabytes worth of updates.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that game was on the Xbox. I guess it's on the Xbox One.
Nice. Yeah, and it's a very good game. I mean, but you have to have that temperament.
Yeah, which I don't.
Which Nick does not.
So it's just not me. The game isn't mine. So we've also got some unturned news as well. This is update 3.1.2.0. So there's some update notes here. Added trader uncovering quest line, so you can uncover or there's just new quest line uncovering the trader, something around that line. Added lightning strike boss zombie quest for the
Ensign Cliff.
For the Ensign Cliff. Hold on a second, something's dinging over here. Okay, there we go. Added added the gunpowder boss zombie quest for Peter. Added the flamethrower boss zombie quest for Norbert. Added the config options to include both zombies in spawns. Added the ability to track a quest in the HUD, so you can now track quests in the HUD, which is pretty cool. Added the industrial gas can. So now there's a bigger gas can under its ID 1440. Added NPC/dialogue/quest/vendor documentation to the workshop documentation. So if you're wanting to work with some of that stuff with the workshop, there's documentation for it now. And added the deferred decal support and converted many decal-like objects to use it. So some work.
Probably just a more efficient way of displaying those.
Yeah.
And the rest of it's pretty much fixes.
And little things here and there. So I'm actually going to read. I'm going to read out of this. This is from the deferred decals. I don't know how interested people are in this, but I'm just going to read the first thing here. So he's saying it was a bit of a nightmare to get everything working with them, but as far as I can tell, the only issue now is a slight lighting differences using some skybox ambience things. So I guess it was just before with the decals, everything wasn't lining up. And this game uses Workshop, which allows people to create things in the workshop and they work in the game. So there were some issues with that. So yeah, there's an Unturned update. That's
now speaking of Workshop, Rust put out some pretty cool things. Do you want to play that video first? I mean, it covers everything, and then we can talk a little bit about it in the dev blog. But they added something really cool that I've not really seen on most games like it.
Okay, so this is the Rust update video. Here we go.
Greetings survivors and friends, Shadowfrax here once again with yet another weekly roundup of the Rust dev blog, where in this episode we have more components, nice dry caves, and harbours? But first, have you ever wondered why, after an initial deluge of weapon and clothing skins, such as this sexy horse-themed one, were added to Rust, the flow just seemed to dry up, and now we have a backlog of literally thousands of skin submissions just waiting in, dare I say it,
Workshop Limbo.
Well, the main reason why is that up until now, the whole system of creating and adding skins to Rust was, to put it bluntly, a bit of a pain in the arse. Apart from having to download Unity just to make a skin, these then ended up looking different in-game, so Facepunch had to manually adjust and then add each one they decided to include. To this end, therefore, Gary's been beavering away in a dark corner somewhere for the last couple of weeks in order to make the whole experience much more pleasurable for everyone, and by the power of Grayskull, he's succeeded. Now, having your very own art attack is as simple as hitting a tree with a rock, as I shall show you. First, in the pre-release branch, mash the big blue workshop button on the main menu. Then, once it's loaded, select New, give your item a title, choose a skin, and then go to the Edit tab. Click on the download button to create a new texture file, not forgetting to give it a name, and save it where you want. You can then open that file in Paint, GIMP, or even your completely legitimate and paid for copy of Photoshop and edit it to your heart's content. When you want to see how it looks on the item, just use the folder icon to upload it to the scene. Now, every time you edit and save it in your chosen image manipulator, it will automatically update in the workshop. You can fly around to see your creation from any angle you like, adjust the time of day, and even shine an anti-aging spotlight on the subject to reduce the appearance of fine wrinkles. Once you're happy, just travel to the last tab where clicking Publish will create an icon and upload the texture to the Steam Workshop. Simple. This is of course a work in progress, so expect the unexpected. Also, exactly how this new feature will be implemented and how many of our submissions we'll actually be able to use in-game hasn't been decided yet, but watch this space and I shall let you know as soon as I find out. Also, over on the pre-release branch, more components just got added, namely metal pipes, sewing kits, springs, metal blades, and both rifle and SMG bodies. You'll now start to find this bric-a-brac in barrels and loot crates, and some of the crafting recipes have already been adjusted to accommodate them, such as the crossbow, which as well as wood and frags, now also needs rope and gears to make, and the double-barrel shotgun, which funnily enough now requires 2 pipes. Once all of the recipes and loot spawn rates are adjusted, which should only take a few more days, Helk will be wanting your feedback on how it all feels, as the target date for this system to go live, November the 3rd, is already looming. If you want to get involved in the all-important testing, then I'd encourage you to opt into the pre-release branch as soon as you can and start fiddling about with it. I'll put a link for you with details of how to do that very thing in the video description down below. Something else that's now possible on pre-release is the ability to spelunk all the way down to the deepest, darkest, moistest, most claustrophobic recesses of the new cave systems without encountering any water, and I'd highly recommend you try these out if you haven't already. Speaking of the wet stuff, something that was unintentionally disabled a while ago was the underwater bubble and plankton effects that you should have been seeing when swimming beneath the surface, missed, but these are now back in. Rain also had some tweaking to make the effect appear more natural. Not only this, but the shader has been optimized to increase the number of particles whilst only using half of the GPU memory bandwidth it did before. Now we just need it to stop chucking it down inside caves and buildings, but this should reportedly be fixed soon. New world models were added to reduce the number of generic Hessian gift bags you'll see laying around, including LR300s, shotguns, boater bags, silencers, scopes, hollow sights, muzzle boosts, brakes, and building plans. Also soon you'll finally be seen holding an actual camera instead of a strange magical white cube when using said item. Muzzle flash improvements are on the way. After studying real life ones, it was decided to change the way they're generated, and as you can see here, they're looking much more realistic. Another batch of performance enhancements were made again in this update, and although the details don't exactly make for riveting reading, you can check out the whole list on the dev blog. But some points to note were that an entity leak mentioned on last week's blog was found and executed, some attack exploits that were being used by private cheats got fixed, weapon LODs were improved further, and some global terrain maps were optimized to increase map loading times by up to a whopping 1.5 seconds on the larger islands. Hold me down. In addition to this, a number of sound bugs were squashed, including a particularly annoying pitch-related one, and looping sounds sometimes still playing outside of audible range. Moving on to works in progress now, and the proper model for the recycler is finished and ready to be implemented, as you can see here. The new hazmat suit continues to be textured, although no more visuals just yet. And lastly, remember I mentioned in the previous episode about new shipping container models? Well, they're now finished, will come in a variety of fun colours, and some will be open and therefore explorable. However, on a related note, I wanted to just show you some tweets that went out since the dev blog and that I'm particularly excited about. Yes, it seems that indeed the harbour concept that we were shown a while ago is even now sailing its way to finally being a reality. No news on when this will be a thing. Don't expect it in the next Forced Wipe, for instance, but what do you think of a new coastal dungeon? Do you like to be beside the seaside? Does the very thought make you as moist as a harbour wall? Let me know what you think in the comments, please. Now you're up to date. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell on my channel page.
Alrighty, so there we go. That's from Shadow Frox. I think it's Shadow Frox, right? Shadow Frox. You can subscribe to his channel if you want these. If you want to watch this video again, or if you're listening to it on audio and want to see the visuals that he included with that. So. Yeah, but I'm glad he does those because
he puts a lot of information in there that we would not be able to cover in that depth.
With stuff that he obviously plays the game more and plays the game.
I mean, he's working with the company, so
yeah. So there you go.
Now that whole thing with the skins, I mean that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that is. That's a really cool
you can upload
system.
I mean, just go there, edit the file, and then upload it directly into the Steam Workshop with one click.
It is pretty cool.
And then I'm surprised, having played that game, as little as I have, just because I feel like I'm constantly getting killed. There's a lot of stuff in that game that you don't see until you must have to play it a lot.
Yeah,
like I mean, the caves are new, but when they're flying around and showing those areas, like I just remember being on the coast, running in, and then seeing a bunch of man-made, like player-made buildings, and then getting killed.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this definitely check it out. We'll have a link to their dev blog, and we'll have a link to that video, so that you're more than welcome if you want to watch it again. Because as you said, there may be some people that are audio only.
Yeah,
and you can check him out. But I think he covered pretty much everything. So we will go ahead and let's go into the next game giveaway, and that is Rust. So if you don't have Rust, this is a way to get it free. I'm going to reset the raffle right now. So that is reset. So you put / raffle. That'll enter you into this. And Stairwave, thank you for donating this copy to give away. It's a survival game that is very difficult. It's got really good base building. Tons of people play it. I mean, you'll be going into current players here in just a little bit. Yeah. But a lot of people playing this game.
Yeah, and if again, as we said, thanks Stairwave for the donation. From time to time, people ask us, like, hey, what can we, can we give away a game or something like that? Yeah, if you're interested in giving, or if you want to give us a game or you have an extra game that you want us to give away, if you send us an email, our email's on the website, it's contact@infectionpodcast.com. We'll be able to go through and we'll give it away. And of course, we'll give you credit. And we've done it in the past. If you've got something you want to pimp out, if you have some type of server for something and you wanna promote that is perfectly okay, and we encourage that. So, yeah, we can do that. All right, where do we want to go from here? There was one other thing with H1Z1 that I thought of and now I've forgotten. So I guess we'll skip that. Of course, as we said,
one thing I was going to mention.
Yeah.
So when you're doing the scrapyard, and I don't know if people realize, like, you can scrapyard, or you can scrap the old extra skins, like all those hats and everything, and that's different than going in and turning in like your old tickets, your old airdrop tickets.
They go through the same system though.
You'll get the same resource back, but you have to go into they don't have a list of just all your items.
No.
You have to go into where you go and select which skins you want to use.
Appearance, yeah.
Yep. And then in there you can hit X and scrap those. Otherwise you have to go into, is it not Marketplace?
It's under Marketplace. It's under Marketplace, then it's under Scrapyard.
Scrapyard, and then you can turn in, and that's the part that's kind of still glitchy. You can scrap your old skins, and that seems to work seamlessly. It's just the airdrop tickets that seems to take 30 clicks or randomly. Not even 30 clicks.
No, it's an issue. I think it's a server issue because it's some type of communication issue because people, talking to PHVCK, he was able to do like 15 tickets in a row before they tweeted out that the servers were back up, and then I think it's just the servers are getting slammed with people trying to turn them in. So I would imagine that would fix up. But it does work in large quantities, but I just think too many people are trying to do that all at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, that was the only thing I wanted to point out.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's jump into current players. Currently playing H1Z1. This is Just Survive and King of the Kill combined. 16,929. The 24-hour peak for this, 23,488. And the 7-day peak, 26,434. Let's move over to Just Survive. Numbers, not great with Just Survive right now. Currently playing that, 1,459. The 24-hour peak, 2,493. And the 7-day peak, pretty crummy with this, 2,739. Not impressive at all. On the other hand, King of the Kill, looking pretty good still. Currently playing that, 15,470. 24-hour peak, 20,995, and the 7-day peak, 23,695. This game made up, even though it was down for a good part of the day, which is nice there. Moving over to Ark. This is Ark, the regular Survival Evolved. Currently playing that, 24,835. The 24-hour peak, 39,211, and the 7-day peak. This number is just through the roof here. 54,535. That's a crazy amount of people. Moving over to Unturned. Currently playing that. As I said, a lot of people. 13,809. The 24-hour peak, 27,232. And the 7-day peak, 41,802. And rounding it off here with Miscreated. Currently playing that. 753. The 24-hour peak, 1,236. And the 7-day peak, 1,706. Brian, this number
just made their dev team really happy.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Like 17,000.
This unfortunately that current player's number is falling below.
Yeah, slowly going down.
It was at 900 2 weeks ago, 800 last week, and it's 753 this week. So
I mean, they really need to put out some additional content, and I think just keep bringing those players back. Keeping them interested.
Yeah, so, I don't know. It's
we'll see. I mean,
we'll see. I hope they can.
It gets better, but I talked about last week. They just need to smooth out that combat system.
Yes,
it doesn't feel like H1Z1 does.
No,
that's something that people notice when they come from other shooters.
You were almost just going to say something else. So, all right. Where do we want to go?
So let's do tip of the week. Tip of the week's where I go through and either give a survival related tip, maybe about a specific game, something we've been doing for 93 weeks now. And Nick was surprised. He's like, so you used to do 2 tips every week.
And 2 tips about H1Z1 every week.
Specific to H1Z1. So I've done
for 60-something weeks.
Tons.
Or maybe 50-something weeks.
I've done over 100 H1Z1 tips alone.
Oh, easily.
So, yep, this is Tip of the Week. All right, so this is actually similar to a tip that I probably gave probably a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. Have we been doing it this long? Something like that.
90 weeks, 60 weeks in 52 weeks in a year and a half. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I gave this one about a year and a half ago, but this is more of a generic tip. And I really want to encourage people, and this is something that we have. And so I'm
not believe you're repeating tips, Brian. That's a real low blow. That's to the integrity. This shows the journalistic integrity of a tip of the week.
Because we had a really good week, and so this stood out to me, and so that's why I want to bring it up, because it's not like, oh, press E to interact with an item. It's not that kind of a tip.
Press W to walk.
This is something that you need to ASWD. You guys asked for that one time.
All right, I'll let you go. I'm sorry.
Thank you. So I just want to encourage people to support their community, and I'm not saying specifically like our community here. If you're listening to the show, if you're watching the show right now, I know that you are interested in the infection community, but you may have another community, maybe even a different game. And the best way to stay interested in a game is to get with other players that love playing that game as well. So whether it's H1Z1, whether it's ARC or whatever game it might be, I encourage you to find that group that you click with. You need to ask them, maybe ask the community, say, hey, is there something that I can help with? Whenever an activity comes along, I encourage you to participate in it. For instance, we did an activity. We had our game of the week this Friday. We had 10 people show up, and that's good. I mean, that is people coming in and enjoying playing together. And we build up these bonds. I mean, we've had 92 weeks of people that have been watching the show, people that come into, back then it was TeamSpeak. They're coming into Discord, and people that we have played consistently with over that time. So I encourage you that if you want to stay interested in a game, and you don't want to be the only one person playing that game, find a group that is playing that game and support them in any way that you can, because that will keep it alive. And maybe if that game dies off, like we have, at times with our group, we'll go and play other games. We keep the community together, even if that game isn't doing so well at the time, and otherwise that whole community would just fall apart. You would lose all those people. And we did have people that were so hardcore on H1Z1 that, we don't play with them anymore. But we were able to maintain a lot of those numbers and a lot of those people and keep those friendships going and keep people playing to where we were able to then come back to H1Z1 when it was in a state to play. So, that's my tip of the week. I encourage you to find a community and support that community. And I feel like I can say that because we have a very good community. We have a lot of people that are very involved. And so, it's not like I wish, we had this kind of community. We do have that kind of community, and I appreciate it. So thank you guys.
Thanks, man.
Don't start crying, Nick.
All right.
And I didn't, Twitch Alert sends out a thing asking for donations in the middle of my talk. That's not what I was talking about. It's a timer.
The Moobot.
Like I swear I'm not clicking on Moobot to Moobot. Shame on you. That's not what we were saying. Anyways.
Well, there you go. Okay. Well, all right, so we got let's do the raffle.
Yeah. So ready for the final? Again, this is for Rust. Fat, Broken, Ugly. So Fat, Broken, Ugly. Congratulations.
Of course.
He's been listening to the show for a long time.
Giving us a hard time every week.
Every week he's.
Thank you, Gadlaw. And let's see.
This was not a pressure. I'm not pressuring people to donate right now.
He's got a note for this one. He says H1Z1 will be back. Maybe. Man, I don't know. I don't know. I am not feeling too confident about H1Z1 and its future right now. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
I don't know how
I don't
feel.
like. I don't know. I've almost given up on Just Survive. The concept of maybe Just Survive making it.
Yeah, I am. They better if they're. My opinion will stay that way. Only until we find out that they've been doing some massive change behind the scenes, and they've been working on something for months and months and months, and they're finally ready to release that. So, but I don't think that's happening. So if that's not happening, then we're done. It's kind of over.
Yeah.
But thank you, Gadol. We appreciate that that donation. Of course,
He has faith.
Yes, our other donors as well, Green Man and Ivory Hawk as well. So, now if you are interested in taking part in this, you can head on over to our website. It's infectionpodcast.com/PAX, and we'll be heading out to PAX East in March of 2017. We are almost 7% closer to our goal than we were at the start of the show.
We're over a quarter of the way.
Yes, we are. So cool stuff coming there, and we'll be talking about that in the up and coming weeks.
And we'll have a fun thing next week that we'll be announcing.
Yep, and we'll be announcing some other cool projects throughout this whole process as well. So we'll keep you up to date with that. So Brian, I think that is it.
Yeah.
Where can people find you online?
Yep. If you want to find me on Twitter @Boise Computer, that's BOISE Computer. Some people may not know where that is actually a place.
Boise.
Yeah, Boise. People say it all kinds of weird ways. Boise is the proper way if you're from here.
Well, whatever.
And then Bite of Tech, BITE of tech.com. I should be doing a new article here in the next couple of weeks because they're finally going to be released. They gave me a release date on that software that I read it about.
I'm shaking my boots waiting for the.
Most people have no clue what it's even about. So, but if you want to check it out and you want to read something really nerdy, as soon as that's released, I'll be putting out a new article.
I've got my IFTTT notification set up. The second there's a new post on that RSS feed, everything's stopping. We're halt on everything. If I'm in the middle of class, it doesn't matter. If I'm in the middle of work, it doesn't matter. That article is being read. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, Fat Broken Ugly. So Boise is where they have the blue football field. The Boise State Broncos. We have a blue football field. Like the field is blue.
The artificial turf, blue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the only ones that are like that. I mean, it's been like that for a long time.
Staple of the state, I guess.
Yep, that's our calling card.
Fantastic. Thanks, Brian. Of course, you can check out this show each and every Tuesday. Twitch.tv/Infection Podcast. 2 weeks from now, we will be live on a Monday. That will be November the 7th. We will be live. The 8th is election day. It's going to be a little.
Nick I would be doing this show by myself because Nick would be watching.
I would, yeah. I've got like shows like Against the Norm. I have to do preparation
that are pertinent to that day.
Exactly.
Like that.
We'll be doing prep for. So we'll be doing the show on Monday for that, and hope we'll recommend you tune in on Monday, which I know some people I'm sure are excited for because every time we do a show on a Monday, there's people that tune in that can't
are
on
busy
Tuesdays.
on Tuesdays.
So, and you'll get the day early if you listen to this on your podcatcher. So we'll be live 2 Mondays from now. We'll be here next Monday the 1st, but we'll be here next Tuesday the 1st, but 2 weeks from today we'll be live on Monday, so November 7th for that. If you're interested in news and politics, you can check out Against the Norm at atnshow.com. If you're interested in gaming, geekiness, and more, everybody's favorite podcast, The Crummy Show. We had arguably the best show we've done in 29 episodes last week, all about the Nintendo Switch, the new console, Red Dead Redemption 2, and PAX East, which Jake will be, the co-host from Crummy Show, will be there. So Brian and Jake.
Call him Jake the Snake.
Brian and Jake will finally have their rendezvous live at PAX East 2017. I'll
challenge him to an arm wrestling contest. I know who's going to win.
All right. Well, great. There we go. That is going to be. There's another episode of Infection. Slowly heading towards episode 100. Guys, that is going to do it for episode 93 of Infection. Want to thank everybody for tuning in live on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Infection Podcast. That's going to do it. We'll see you next week for Infection. Have a great week, everybody.